And now, on with the show.
1963 determined or prophesied what I would end up being. As we are learning English, the English teacher taught us about birds and stuff, and then he said, can anybody draw a picture of a bird on the blackboard? I put up my hand and walked majestically to the blackboard, and the teacher in his heart was just betting for blood, saying, because he knew I was cheeky and he thought I was joking. So I went to the blackboard. Within a few seconds, I had drawn the ibis. And that ibis I drew, may the Almighty Lord forgive me, was because we had captured one ibis on our way to school and had looked at it closely, and as fate would have it, it was required of me to illustrate it. And I used my photographic memory to do exactly that. And I remember my primary 5 teacher, Mr. Ireva, saying, this boy is going to be an artist, a great artist for that matter. I laughed at him. In my heart, I believed and wanted to become either a journalist or an advocate. But as fate would have it, I ended up becoming both, as you'll later find out. Fast forward. 1977 saw me in the gallows of Maki the military prison for 9 days. Very few people believed that I would survive and come out alive. I actually survived, came out alive. Prior to that, I had been serving the Uganda Armed Forces in the medical stores as a medical stores assistant. I had grown up in a hospital, and because my parents were medics, I was familiar with the medical. And Dr. Bogere, when he invited us to join the forces, the armed forces, I chose the medical field and I wanted to become a health inspector. But things didn't work out. We ended up being given 24 hours to leave Kampala. I ended up in Moroto. And later on, of course, I was transferred back to Kampala. I stayed there for a couple of years. And later on, when I had problems with the government, thought we were going to overthrow the government, I had run away in 1978. I ended up in Nairobi penniless, but very, very creative and hopeful. That is how I looked at myself and decided and wanted to find and found out that I could actually earn a living from my hands. What I had was my head and my hands, and my friend Dan Sekanwa encouraged me to venture into the batik making. We had no clue how batiks are made. But finally, we looked at other people's works, and it was tough. Because most of the time, we spent trying to take these batiks and it didn't work out. A batik is the most complicated art form you can come across. Because if you make a mistake, you've had it. You can never correct it. Where you put dye, if it is dark dye, you can never put light dye. You cannot cover it. Where you drop artworks, that place is sealed off, so no other color will come in there. So for the all sleepless nights, I told Dan, you know what, do we have to do the way other people do it? He said, yeah, of course we have, we will never sell. No, we don't have to. Let's just do our own thing and present it to the curious stores. So I took the gamble. Luckily enough, there was one Mwindi guy, Mwindi is an Asian, who just grudgingly accepted some of our batiks and put them there. But I did it in such a way that he would watch how the tourists would respond. When I saw the tourists responding positively, I decided to tell them, let's get out of this place before the owner realizes that we are actually monitoring his buyers. And they think we want to take his buyers. And of course, a few minutes later, his son came running after us and was, oh, bring us some more. So we got orders, but it was very cheap. It was given us very low prices and stuff. So we decided to take it to another level. My first exhibition in 1980 at the Goethe Institute launched me. I created works that I thought were stories my grandmother told me. And I decided from then to start telling stories using my art. And I started looking at images. By the way, when I see you here, you're all material, subject matter. So to me, when we are talking, I'm watching you, see if I really want to make somebody who look beautiful, what do I do? If I want to make people look like they are wrestling or hugging and not wrestling, what do? It's the angle at which you tilt. That lady there, the single working girl, because if that single working girl, it's about young women, encouraging young women to become self-sufficient, self-reliant, not wait for parents to take care of, to keep on paying their bills and men to pick up the bills. And my art today has been appreciated and accepted by international organizations, including the United Nations, bodies except Uganda Investment Authority have not used it yet. But what I'm saying, that piece there is priced too high. It's one of my first pieces during my first exhibition. Why is it priced too high? This young lady was actually young, but because what they demanded was too high, she didn't get married. So that's why she looks haggard and very old. I'm a feminist. That is Global Village. There I was celebrating the success or the contribution of women to society. As entertainers, as CEOs, as homemakers, every aspect of life. So when you're complaining about women not being in boardrooms, we have a CEO there seated behind the desk. We have a woman coming, on the screen, all women, celebrating women. I have one particular piece I would like to talk about. It is a baby being a mother breastfeeding. That piece has registered a reaction from two different people. There was a time when this lady went with her baby, and when she took out a bottle to bottle feed her, she looked at this picture and she got embarrassed because the woman was looking at her in a challenging manner, and the baby was also looking at her and said, "What is that you're gonna do?" So she felt embarrassed, put back the bottle, and started breastfeeding. She never bottle fed again. Another one was embarrassed by her son, a 3-year-old son. After looking at the mother breastfeeding and the baby enjoying the breast, got so excited and said, "Momo," demanding for the breast. He's 3 years old, and the mother was so embarrassed, but she shared that experience with me. Why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story to show you that even if you don't have anything with you, or if you believe there's no job, or there's nobody to help you, reach within yourself, do something with what you have. I have only 20 Kenyan shillings given to me by my in-law. That's what I started with. Everything I have today is from that 20 Kenyan shillings. And I paint in such a way that those with feelings may be touched. Because art a day keeps the doctor away. So, but because it is by the grace of God that I'm an artist, I decided to celebrate the Lord's grace, who gave me the talent and has allowed me to share my talent, and I've created words which look like art pieces, and those words, the message is there: Jesus is Lord for God and my country.